Chief Risk Officer of Wema Bank PLC. Sylvanus has had a career spanning commercial banking, investment banking, stockbroking, and currently risk. Sylvanus, a CFA charter holder, is a pharmacist by training, very interesting, and a financial analyst by. He's a keen volunteer with CFA Society Nigeria and is a current vice chair of membership committee of the society. He is passionate about growing small and medium scale Nigerian businesses and encouraging their access to finance and finance advice. It's my pleasure to welcome, I think I have to add, Farm Sylvanus Eneche CFA.
So thank you. Thank you very
Somebody
much
that
so
should be
much.
talking about medicine is now
Exactly.
talking about money.
Well, it depends on the kind of medication you want.
Oh, financial medication.
Exactly. So I'm into financial medication now.
I think when you have financial medication, I don't think you'll be sick at all. You won't need those synthetic medication if you
Well,
have financial
You'd
medication.
be surprised. Even with finances, you need a doctor, an advisor.
It's so good to have you, Sylvanus. Thank you so much. So today we're going to be talking about retirement planning. And when people hear retirement planning, they're looking at old age. But just stick around there. There's a lot more you should know about retirement and how to plan for it. And that'll be a subject of discussion when we return from this break. Please do stay with us.
Are professionals. We are impact driven. We are CFA Society Nigeria, a member society of the CFA Institute Global Network of Societies. Our mission is to promote the highest standard of practice in the Nigerian financial services industry and provide a vibrant community for our members. The CFA Charter signals the holders' commitment to professional excellence. As thought leaders, we collaborate with stakeholders to ensure adherence to ethical standards, better education for professionals, and to build market integrity. We are the leading voice for advocacy in the finance and investment industry in Nigeria. To partner with us or become our member, visit us at cfasocietyng.org for more details. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.
Welcome back. It's Money Talks here on 92.3 Inspiration FM Smart. Uzechi is my name. Sylvanus Eneche is my guest on the program. And today we're talking about retirement planning. So Sylvanus, let's begin with the basics really. Let me ask you, when we talk about retirement planning, what exactly are we talking about retirement planning? And just like in Nigeria, people have large families. They have 5 children, 6 children. And when you ask them, they will say, nobody knows tomorrow. Am I just born? If this one not enter for this one, they enter for this one. They rely on their kids as a retirement plan. So talk to us about retirement planning, and is that a kind of retirement planning to depend on one's children?
Exactly. Thank you very much for that. And I think you've brought it to the African context. And typically, there's this thing called the black tax in America, wherein you see people that rely on their extended family or their close family to lift them up out of their financial situation. But what it ends up doing is like it keeps everybody at a certain level. Within the context of retirement planning, really, is that you need to save for the day when you are no longer earning. Ideally, when you are making an income, you should put some aside so that it will start to work for you. The Americans say that there's nothing certain in life but death and taxes. The reality is that the other thing in between is retirement. It's as certain that the day you start working, someday you'll retire. And that income stream will cease. And so it is your investments that will start to work for you to generate the income that will sustain you. In simple words, that's what retirement planning is. Putting aside something now so that when your regular stream of income, what you're doing today, going out every day, bringing in the cheese, when it ceases, you are able to have your investments substitute that, and they are bringing in the income.
The second part of my question, but let's calm down with this. Oga Silva, with all these school fees people are paying, You send the children to Montessori this, Montessori that, private university this and that. That's an investment. So if I now say this my boy or this my girl, I don't pay. It's now time, I'm old, I can't walk again. What's wrong with depending on my kids I've invested in school and all of that, to recoup some of my investment when I cannot walk again?
Okay. It's philosophical.
Hmm.
And why I say that is that times have changed. In the past, it used to be the case that you would find parents expect that burden
Yeah.
of taking care of their children, taking care of them in their old age. But these days, the reality is that even more so, oftentimes children have to actually borrow to even fund their own education. So they have their own expenses they're dealing with. And as things have progressed, you find out that for the child to even be able to succeed and maintain his own level of livelihood, he might not have enough resources to also take care of you. So there are several things in retirement that call to bear your costs, your living expenses, but more so healthcare costs.
Yeah.
And those are escalating on a daily basis. If you do not plan for yourself, and then it's a gamble you take when you say that I'm going to depend on my children. Anything can happen. So it could be that the behavior changes or the circumstances change. So do you want to leave it to chance?
Certainly not. Certainly not. So, and one thing again is when people are young and you talk to them about retirement, it looks like retirement is a mirage, something that will never come. You know, they don't think that they will grow old. You see people today say forever young. So, when is actually the right time to start to plan for retirement?
So one thing they say in the corporate world and well, in the institution where I work is that you start planning for retirement the day you come into the job, because there's a terminal date. In Nigeria today, there are certain institutions will have their retirement age at 55, some at 60. In public service, maybe you are the Chief Justice of Nigeria, you have maybe an age of 70. Some universities, if you're a professor, maybe they take it up to 75. The reality is at some point in time that will come. When do you start planning for that? The sooner the better. Because if you start small and you start putting your nest egg, there's what we call the miracle of compounding interest. So these investments start to yield results, you reinvest it and it grows. And you'll be surprised at the pace at which it will grow. The later you leave it to start your investment plan, the more tenuous it becomes. The harder it is to get it in place, and then you might not be able to have such a nest egg that will maintain your standard of living when you leave your job. So the sooner you start, the better. And it is never too early to start. Indeed, in some cases, you'll find out that as you start to teach your children about saving, they have started their retirement plan.
In case you just joined us now, Money Talks is on your radio, 92.3 Inspiration FM. Captain Smart is my name. And I have Silvanus Eneche, CFA, and today we're talking about retirement planning. You can join the conversation here by calling us 01-277-1923. You can also call 01-277-2923. That is 01-277-1923 or 01-277-2923. You can call the traditional 0700-923-923-923. That's 0700-923-923-923. Whatever question you may have about and around retirement and how to plan for it, Mr. Eneche is here to take your questions in that regard. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp 0817-313-6193. That's 0817-313-6193 to take your questions. You can send us messages via our social media handles. You can go to our website www.cfasocietyng.org. You can go to our website there or check us out on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on Facebook, CFA Society NG. That's how you can get to us on those platforms. So back here, Mr. Eneche, you've actually advised on how to plan for a retirement and how people should start early. And the next question will be to ask you why. should I start planning from the day I enter the job? I mean, shouldn't I just be allowed to flex, just enjoy myself? Why am I thinking of retirement when I enter the job, as soon as I enter?
Okay. Exactly. The fact of the matter is that in investments, there are two things. The time it takes you to build returns varies. The risk also that you can accept and hold depends. So there's what you call a risk return relationship, and then there's the tenor. The sooner you start, you'll be able to take more risks because your investment will be able to ride out any storm, right? Along the line, you also have growth. It's also a culture that you start to build, because if you are flexing, like you said, you find out that flexing becomes the attributes that you keep. But if you've trained yourself to invest a portion of your income every month, every year, then you find out that you're able to grow that nest egg. You are able to take higher risks at the beginning of your journey, and as you grow and you get closer to your retirement, you are supposed to take less risk. So it is not when you are getting towards retirement in your 50s or you're close to your 60s that you start investing in very risky ventures that will yield huge returns. And that is how people get scammed. But more importantly, you need to get an advisor that will tell you about the various asset classes. So you're looking at things like stocks, they have their risk profile. You're looking at things like bonds, they have their risk profile. You're also looking at things like alternative investments, including things like real estate. So they all have different risk profiles, they have different maturity profiles. You want to take good advice from an advisor that will help you.
So what about people who they missed out on the opportunity to start early, like you have said now, or they don't have that opportunity at all? They're not working, there's no income, because it's somebody who is making an income that will start thinking about setting something aside for retirement plan. So these kind of persons, what do you say to them? Or people who don't even have it as part of the agenda to do anything in retirement? Because some persons will tell you, when you start talking about saving for retirement, it means you're planning for death. And people in this part of the world don't want to think that they will die. So what do you say to this kind of person?
Okay, I'm going to link it to two things. First of all, saving for retirement clearly is not that you're thinking of going to die. In fact, what you are thinking is that I'm going to live long and I'm going to need an income.
Because people who come to ask people for these things, they always tell you you have to set something aside in case you're no longer there. All of them say that, and I don't know why they say that. So, they scare some people. They say, you have to plan for your children when you're no longer there, so that they won't be stranded. And people will start thinking, if I start putting this money aside, am I not digging my grave?
So there's retirement planning. There's also insurance or planning for the unforeseen, right? They are related in a sense, but at the same time, retirement planning is for yourself. Yes, you also want to ensure that the people that you leave behind are taken care of. But if you live to be 80, 90, and your healthcare costs are escalating, and your children cannot handle it, won't that be a sad thing if you had the opportunity to put aside something and save and grow it? So that really is it. I think there are two different things, very important, but retirement planning is more personal than even insurance that takes care of your loved ones when you go.
You can call us now 01277 1923. That's 01277 1923. Or you can call 01277 2923. That's 01277 2923. You can also call 0700 923 923 923. That's 0700 923 923 923. Or send messages on WhatsApp 0817 313 6193. That's 0817 313 6193. So, Mr. Neche, you talked about an advisor right here, and you also stated there's some plan for retirement. So what I'll ask you is, how does one now start to plan for this retirement, and then where is the place of the advisor? Why do I need an advisor to do that?
Thank you very much. Simply because you see, the study of investments is broad, and of course, I would want to say that that is one of the things that CFA charter holders are good at, which is advice. They would look at your plan and be able to advise you in a certain manner. But more importantly, when you look at also areas like the pension fund administrators, for everybody that is working and contributes to a pension fund, you have someone in that company that is available to give you advice should you need it. And what they can do is to define those asset classes for you. For those of us that are in paid employment today, apart from what you contribute by regulation, what your employer contributes by regulation to put aside something, there are also things called AVC, additional voluntary contributions, that can help you to also jumpstart and kickstart this thing. I would like to circle back to a question you asked earlier on. What do you do if you don't have a job, or if you've just started and you really don't have the means? My brother, if you get 10K and you put aside 1,000, it is a start. So you don't wait till you have 1 million or 2 million and say, okay, I'm going to put aside this much. No, it is actually a habit you form. And even if you were not working, students today, when their parents teach them that for every money that your uncle gives you, don't spend it all, put 10% aside. That is how you start planning for savings and retirement. And I think it's a habit you form. And then, of course, to know clearly that you also need trusted advisors that can guide you along that path, so that you don't fall prey to some unscrupulous individuals.
You talked about one important factor here, and that's healthcare costs, especially when people are getting older. In this part of the world, I'm sure globally, there's something they call old age sickness. I mean, some persons are sick not because they want to be sick, but just because they are old. You know, there are some sicknesses associated with old age. Given that these costs for healthcare are very, very high, how do one prepare for this? Because whether we like it or not, we will have to grow old.
Exactly, exactly. And you see, it's still part of the plan. So if you have started saving and you know that you're planning for the long haul, it is not the day that you need healthcare that you go to pay for it. You have to start to buy a plan, and there are plans that allow you to start now so that you have healthcare in your old age. But it is something that you grow into, right? You do not start that plan when you are retired, because they will have things they call, and I'm not an insurance expert, but they have what they call pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
It is best to be insured before your condition exists. Okay, so I think it's one of those things that along the line we can have an insurance executive come in and explain. But I know that part of the things you need to do is to ensure that you have healthcare insurance when you approach your old age.
You can call 01277 1923. That's 01277 1923. That's also 01277 2923. Or you can just send us a message on WhatsApp, 0817 Retirement planning is what we're talking about here. And our guest on the program this evening is Farm Silvanus Eneche, CFA. We have a message here that says, I like the Mr. Eneche, and he really enlightened me as a young chap and on insurance and retirement plan. This is head of, his name is Head of Fees from Lagos Island. Thank you so much. It says enlightening. Thank you. 01277 or 01277 the numbers you can call. You can also call 0700 923 923. That's 0700 923 923. And we're talking retirement planning today. Are you planning to retire? Have you set something aside? You have questions about retirement, savings, and investment. This is the best opportunity you have to be able to put those questions across to Mr. Silvanus NH. 01277 1923. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, can you hear us? Hello? You might just have to call us back, 01277 1923. or 01277 2923. You can also call 0700 923 923 923, or send us a message on WhatsApp 0817 313 6193. So, Mr. Meche, after all of these planning, and then God now decides to bless you with good health and also give you long life. People pray for longevity without infirmity sometimes. So, how does one now ensure that this cash flow does not run out soon after retirement? Because we have seen people who put out a lot of money. When they were working, they wanted to make themselves comfortable. They saved a lot of money. And even some save those monies in fixed assets, but soon after they are retired, they go broke.
Okay, again, the title of this program is retirement planning. It all starts with a plan. And part of that plan is that you must see clearly that you do not overextend yourself. You must ensure that you have a budget. You do not spend on things that will burden you in your old age. You have to live a lifestyle that you can sustain. You have to have a plan. Your spending needs to be planned. And your investment at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you invest such that it's able to take you through your golden years. Okay? What it means is that you were talking about flexing. There are people that flex till their last kobo. And what it means is that when they need that money, it's not available because they've spent it all. And it's really unfortunate. We see this happen sometimes with people in the public eye, sometimes with people that have held prominent positions in either the academia, the corporate world, or even in sports and entertainment, wherein at the end of the days they are indigent because they did not put aside anything, quote unquote, for retirement. And it doesn't have to be much. It just has to be that you put aside something at the point where you are making it so that it sustains you. You plan your spending, you ensure that your spending is not such that you are spending on, say, a giant house that you cannot in your old age maintain, you know.
So when we are talking about setting aside this money, where do you take this money to? I mean, who do you keep this money with? Because that's also a factor. Somebody might just be saying, after setting aside this money, I hope it's not the one that tomorrow when I need it, they start telling me stories. So where do we keep these monies?
Exactly. So there are different ways to look at it. It depends on the kind of asset class you are investing in. If you are investing in stocks or bonds, if you are investing in real estate, it depends on which asset class you are investing in. But at the same time, after all these investments, you need to have a clear picture of your portfolio, because there is what you call correlation. If you invest all your money in stocks and the stock market goes down, it could be a problem. If you put all your money in real estate, even if you put your money in real estate and all of it is in, say, Lagos or Jos, what if there is an issue? So you have the principle of diversification, and that is something that an advisor can teach you about. So you don't put all your eggs in one basket, you diversify, and there's what you call correlation also, to ensure that when one market is down, one is sustaining. And then there's also looking at the kind of tenor that those kind of investments require to actually start yielding. And that's why we say in your young age, you probably want to go more towards the risky asset classes like stocks. And then when you grow older, you can do things like bonds that have traditionally less returns than the stock market, but they are more stable, and to a certain extent, your principal is also returned to you.
The way you sound, Mr. Nature, you sound like this is a walk in the park. It's just it's just a roller coaster. Are there risks associated with what you're teaching us this evening?
There are risks associated in every facet of investment, and that is clear. However, the risks are usually able to be studied and mitigated, and you will also benchmark those risks with the kind of returns you make. And so an advisor, again, will teach you about this, and you can also take time yourself to also learn. Read books about investments, understand what your investment is all about, and keep an eye on it.
I want you to, just before we leave the studio this evening, I want you to speak to people who are still in between opinions about whether this is the sure thing to do, about whether I just not say tomorrow will take care of itself. Or maybe as I'm working, I'm still young, maybe I can blow tomorrow and get all the money I need, to take care of myself at my old age. Some persons I've met, they've said to me that Nigeria is such a beautiful country that you can go to bed a pauper and wake up a billionaire, the next day. So that something about them is going to change. So I want you to talk to people like that about how important it is to begin to make these retirement plans even right now.
Okay. There are two things you mentioned there. One is the belief that anything can happen. If you're doing that with your retirement plan, you're gambling. And we all agree that people buy the lottery ticket, and out of maybe 1 million or 2 million people that buy it, one person wins it. So do you want to take those odds? And my answer to that would be no. The second issue is, yes, you are having the money, you are blowing it, or even keeping it uninvested. And that's my final word. Because of the society we live in, because of our interconnectedness, if you do not invest your money, what my people will say is that the people that need it more than you will have access to it. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. We've had Mr. Silvanus Eneche, CFA. He's a pharmacist by training, but he talks money and finances as a calling. I'm sure you've learned a lot from his wealth of experience on the program this evening as we have been talking about financial planning. You can continue this conversation with us via our social media handles. And how can you reach CFA Society? On Twitter and on Instagram, you can reach us on CFA Society NG. That's on Twitter and Instagram at CFA Society NG on Instagram and on Twitter. Or go to the website www.cfasocietynG.org. That's www.cfasocietynG.org. You can also check us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and as CFA Society Nigeria on those 3 platforms. We have a question for you here. Mr. Eneche said, please, when next is he coming on air?
Well, the way it is that this program is being sponsored by the CFA Society, and we have a stream of guests coming in, different areas being addressed to educate you about your finances in general. And I'm sure that at some point, if there's a need to have this program again, I could come on, or somebody probably even more in tune with retirement planning. And those will be people from the PFA sector or from the investment and asset management side could come talk to you. Like I said, I'm a risk manager today, but I trust that with Smart at the wheel, we will have more interesting guests coming on the program. Thank you.
And with Mr. Yemi Ajago as well, who is the producer. This is a question you have to answer next time. Bukola from Lagos Island says, is Japa, plan to Japa, is it part of having a plan? And they say, how about using a retirement plan to Japa? When you use your retirement plan to Japa, is it part of having
that is no longer a retirement plan. That's an investment plan. And that carries its own special set of risks.
Mr. Silvanus Eneche, CFA, thank you so much for coming today to Money Talks. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Smart Uzechi is my name. Till next week, 4:30 p.m. on Monday. See you at that time.
It's 5 o'clock.